Hi, I'm Alise Morales.
And I'm Millie Tamarez.
And this is
Go Touch Grass,
the podcast where we log in
so you can log off.
Millie and I are two chronically online comedians, and on this pod, we break down the week in internet discourse, viral memes, TikTok trends, and niche influencer drama, so you can go to literally anything else.
Anything else with your time. And if you like what you hear today and want to hear more, we got to Go Touch Grass Patreon with tons more content weekly, access to our Discord community, our spin-off series Search History, where we go back and break down a viral discourse from the past. Look, we talked about Sierra from Love Island.
This week's episode.
About how she got kicked off for, the two Latinas.
Both got kicked off for saying racial slurs.
For racial slurs. But we also recorded, I want to say, nearly 2 hour long.
Yes.
It's over an hour and a half long deep dive into Coney 2012.
Yes, we walked down memory lane.
We
did.
Talked about it. We talked about the Fall Out Boy music video that was filmed in Uganda.
Yep.
Thanks to the effects of Coney 2012.
Bet y'all didn't know it went there.
Bet you guys
didn't remember that Fall Out Boy got involved.
Yeah. Elise, I was shook after. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, yeah.
I was out and I was just like in a weird place because I was like, I just talked about Coney 2012 for 2 hours.
Yeah. So that's coming up on the Patreon. Already on the Patreon is our breakdown of Sierra and Love Island, continuation of the Love Island fan online discourse. That's all there. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and review. We love reviews. We need more of them. And you guys know the best review that you could give us is to tell your friends about the show, post a little story, tag us in it. We'll repost it. You know we're online.
We're online. And you simply must, online, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a Go Touch Grass YouTube. I'm there editing videos. I'm doing chaotic things in the videos. They're great. We appreciate the love that we got. I know we talked about YouTube comments and we got some nice, we got a pro-gay YouTube comment, which is good.
Which is good.
Thank you.
Because sometimes we will just get the comment, no gay.
So to get a good gay.
To get pro-gay. We're loving that.
We're loving
that. And you know what else we're loving? The person who's in the studio with us today. We are so excited to have an amazing guest here. He is a writer, producer, and filmmaker whose current project, The Decalogue, is fundraising right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm involved.
You're involved.
So we're going to talk about it. Please welcome into your ears, Christian Banda.
Yeah,
thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Not only are you involved, Alise, you're the shit.
Thank you.
Yeah, your episode's getting a lot of love.
So yeah, that's, I guess, a good place for us to start is just like, why don't you give people the rundown on this project? What inspired it? How you're planning to make it? All that good stuff.
Should I start from the beginning, like where I was working at, and then
Go ahead.
Give us the pitch.
I'll give you the pitch. I was a segment producer at The Daily Show with Trevor Noah for 4 years. I really was not happy with myself and like the situation there for the last year or so, to the point where I had a mental breakdown. I had to take an 8-week leave of absence.
Yeah.
Came back, did my best work, hated myself, and then Trevor quit. Yeah,
well,
Trevor quit on air. No one knew.
I didn't.
Wow.
Oh wow. Okay, that's tea to me.
That's
wow.
Yeah, no one knew. And a couple weeks after that, I was like, I got to get the fuck out of here. It seemed like a gracious end to like a very kind of traumatizing, but I learned a lot. Over there at that experience. Anyway, 2 months later, the strikes happened, and all of a sudden, I was outside of my apartment in Bed-Stuy, just loading into a U-Haul, and I was kicked out of New York because I couldn't work. Yeah, so I went home, got sober, which was crazy. My mom helped me get sober because I was drinking myself crazy to the point where I had liver damage.
Oh my gosh.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Young too, at like 30. And me and my mom just bunkered down and I kicked it. I'm 16 months now.
That's
is
awesome.
Wow, that's great.
We love to hear that.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And that's where I directed 98 Honda, a short film that stars Niles Abston and is written by him.
Excellent short film. Really,
Yeah.
really, really great.
Hell yeah. Thank you for liking it. Executive produced by Ronnie Chang and Roy Wood Jr. please watch it.
Yeah.
That's on YouTube. You can watch it, and it's really good, you guys.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you for saying
It's really
so.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. And I love everyone involved in that project too.
We're trying to make it something big, and stay tuned there.
Yeah.
Yeah. From there, all of a sudden, I was like kind of back in my home in a similar mindset. I was teaching at a high school, and also like ripping tickets at a venue at night. So I was working 2 jobs, and I just left both of those, and I was so bummed out. I was coming up on a year of being sober, so it's a wild inflection point. And I was just like watching so many movies. I was like, someone say something to me.
Yeah.
Like anchor me.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm floating in space. I need someone to say something to me. And this old Polish guy, Krzysztof Kieslowski, who I'd never heard of before, I just found his movies through watching every movie I can on the Criterion Closet. You know who watches those movies? Me. I watch them. I watch every single one that you guys say. Found the Decalogue, his series that concentrates on an apartment building in Warsaw, Poland, and everyone's interacting, and each part is based on one of the 10 Commandments. And I was like, this is an incredible way to look at life, faith, religion, all these things that have been floating around in my head since I was a kid. I got on the phone with my cinematographer, Eric. He said, we should do a comedy series. And I was like, I think I have an idea. And it just like fell out of my mouth. I was like, what if we do our version of the Decalogue based in Brooklyn, with all these comedians that I've watched that are ascending, that I've been fans of and am friends with. And from there on out, I think I casted it by the nighttime of that phone call.
Yeah.
I reached out to everybody. Like I already knew who I wanted. And you all trusted me, and we wrote the thing in 4 months, one-on-one with everybody. And I think it's really fucking awesome and special, and I want to make it.
Yeah. Not just talking about myself, but I am the Honor Thy Father and Thy Mother episode. And I'm really excited for what we worked on together. And the script that we came up with is really fun, but also so many heavy hitters. Friend of the pod, former guest Jay Jordan.
Oh, nice.
Chalet was Sharp, who we should get on the pod.
Yeah, we gotta get on the
Esther
Maggie Crane and Michael Terry. Just like a really, really, really solid, awesome group of people that are like concentrating each episode.
Yeah, so it's written, it hasn't been produced. So what's kind of the next step for you now? Like,
the next step is the soul crushing ventures of fundraising.
Yeah, which was my next question.
Yeah, please go on.
How do you? That's super vulnerable. First of all, like, it's kind of, we're in this weird space where we all have so many great ideas. And I know I have some, and Alise has some, and but there's only so many hours in the day, and there's only so many resources. Of course, if you're not like the child of a famous actor, you know what I mean? Like, if you're, so crowdfunding again feels like so vulnerable. So it's like, how do you feel? Like, what's the process of you like putting yourself out there to ask for money? And like, how do you push past any reservations or any kind of things that might come up?
It's day to day. Usually I'm hurting. Like, I'm just like, damn, this is hard. Oh, that only got 3 likes. Dang, I worked really hard on that. Like it'll get your ego. But me and Otto were editing the scripts, and we're editing yours specifically. And we were both just dying laughing. And then it ended, and we didn't have to make any edits. And I was like, this shit is good, man. Like, that's like, fuck all my ego, fuck like everything that's I think is holding me back and has traditionally held me back.
Yeah.
Like, this is actually good work, and it deserves to be made. So like,
yeah, so it's almost like the knowledge that what the end result will be is something that you're like so proud of, gets you through feeling like, oh God, I'm like feeling cringy, or I gotta post another reel. I mean, I go through that. Like, we've worked together on producing shows. Like, it's hard to be like, to feel like you're constantly spamming people. But the truth of it is, the algorithm doesn't always show your shit. It doesn't just like immediately show your shit to everyone. So you do have to post
a lot
every day, basically.
That's what I've been doing, yeah.
Like, to let people know. And it's like, people will see something and forget. Like, you have to also get people in their right time where they're like, you know what? I am sitting here, and I have seen a couple ads, like Christian's been posting about this. I'm finally like in a moment where I have my wallet next to me. Like, I actually will donate. So it's like, you have to actually get seen by people.
Yeah.
And you have to actually get seen by them when they're in the right headspace, time, motivation. It's payday. They've got a little stuff. Like you have to hit
500 wars going on globally. Like everyone, like trans rights are out the window. Like people are fucked up right now. The last thing they want to do is give money. Like in any respect.
And also like there's a lot going on, and also Instagram doesn't make it easy to just click and donate. No. You have to like do a bunch of things. And also too, I mean, although it seems like corny or whatever to be posting a lot, like I think that, you know, knowing that the process that you've already done, like it's not just like, oh, I want to do this pipe dream one day. It's like, no, we're all professionals. We're all working with professionals, and we've made this kind of progress. And here's how you'll help to the end. I mean, I think that's like super valuable, and that's like such an important strategy in crowdfunding too.
It's something I need to remind myself that I already did the hardest part in getting comedians together to do anything on time and have y'all finish. Y'all don't.
Yeah, I'm like, but historically, but I'm also like, we've done a podcast for a long time, so it's like, you know.
But getting people to accept collabs, we live the struggle of being like, could you just accept the collab for like 24 hours?
Black Oliver Twist, like please, please, just accept the collab.
My collab, please. Please.
For 24 hours.
I know, we are constantly begging for collab acceptance. So if anyone is listening, and when you go on the Instagram and you see that someone did accept our collab, know that they're the real one.
Yes.
They're the real one.
Yes, even people are like, oh my God, this was the best podcast ever. I love this. I'm so excited. They want to accept
crickets.
I have one more thing to add to the fundraising thing. A lot of the shit happens outside of social media. You post something, you send someone to someone you thought loved you.
Yeah.
and the motherfuckers don't say shit back. They give you $5 when you know they got 500.
Yeah.
Well, let's relax on pocket watching for people's $500 to $500.
I don't know. I know some really rich people.
Okay. Because I'm like, listen,
I know really famous comedians, actors, all of them.
Listen. They're doing the famous comedians and actors.
Yeah,
they're doing like gaming app commercials. Like that's where we're at in the industry. Okay,
I know it's
everyone's doing bad.
I was talking to Ronnie Chang, and I was like, dude, how do we get this made? He's like, when you figure that out, you tell me, brother.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, you Ronnie Chang. And he's we're all in the muck together, and it's nice to know that, but it's also depressing because all I want to do is make stuff.
I know.
You know?
Well,
I know that it's like you just have to have money.
Yeah.
And it's like the hardest thing to get.
Yeah.
If you don't already have it.
Hell yeah.
And then once you have a really good, really well produced thing, then studios might give you money to make more, but you need to have had that first thing.
Yeah.
It's a large mountain to climb, but I don't know. We're already pretty damn far. I'm not gonna
and you're on Go Touch Grass.
I'm
gonna get the Go Touch Grass bump. I'm gonna include all the links.
Yes,
it's gonna be great.
Hell yeah.
So with that,
yes,
let's get into today's discourse.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you were recently working at a high school, so I think you might have some interesting insights. Today we are talking about a concept that has taken TikTok by storm. We are back in the millennial versus Gen Z wars. We are discussing the Gen Z stare.
I need to know what this is, but I feel like I've gotten it as a teacher. I was teaching.
What do you think it is? And then we'll see if it is. Because you don't know what it is, right?
No, I don't. But I've felt the generational daggers that these people throw at you non-verbally.
So what do you think the stare is?
I think it's a negative stare, but I also think it's like a stare in which like they're hearing you, but they don't respect what you're saying.
Okay. Okay.
We're gonna okay.
Millie, you've heard of the Gen Z stare?
I heard, so I'll withhold my comments. But let's see if your thing is.
So the Gen Z stare is, this is per Newsweek.
Please.
Writing about the Gen Z stare.
Newsweek.
I know.
Listen,
there's so much other shit going on. Newsweek, get it together, dog.
No, journalism is suffering too.
Okay.
We gotta write about this.
Gotta write about this. This will get more clicks than any.
God damn, you're right. It's
literally
institutional angst. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It is an emotionless blank gaze that Gen Z allegedly gives during everyday social interactions. Now, here's what's interesting is there is kind of some argument over what it is. Like Gen Z will say that it's one thing, whereas like millennials and other Gen Z who like kind of are on the millennial side of things, like they get what people are talking about, they will say that it is another. So there is even like kind of like a basic definition argument that's happening over what it is. So we're going to get into all of that. The way that I'm going to structure this is I'm going to show you guys the video that like pretty much kicked off the conversation. It's not the first time the words Gen Z stare have been coined, but like this is the one that like popped it off.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to do like Gen Z argument, millennial counterpoint.
Ooh, I like that.
And we'll structure it that way. Though I will say there are like a fairly decent amount of Gen Z people on TikTok who kind of actually fall into like the millennial counterpoint area. Yeah. So it's not, you know.
It's like pro or against, maybe. Yeah, instead pro of Gen Z or millennial.
But we're going to call it Gen Z argument, millennial counterpoint, because that is kind of the way that it's like structured in a way. But I just want to say, you know, like not all Gen Z.
Hashtag not all Gen Z.
Not all Gen Z. Okay,
okay, so now let us watch this video from a creator known as The Designer. Designer is a 1. And this video has 1.7 million views as of today.
Bruh, I just seen somebody coin the term Gen Z stare. And I'm so glad somebody gave it a term, because the way some people in our generation act, it's like we cracked the old generations talking about the lead paint stare, but a lot of y'all have that same exact vibe. Like the other day, right? I'm on the elevator, or I thought I was going on the elevator going down in my apartment. So I get on the elevator, and it's a guy in there clearly going up. I press the button to go to the lower level. It's not working. And I feel like common sense would say that's the basic human interaction. But like, hey, this one's going up. Just go about your day. Instead, he stares on me until I say out loud, I'm like, oh, it's going up. And he's like, yeah. Like, bro, keep in mind, this interaction was not like a long interaction. This is probably like 30 seconds at most. But it's like simple things like that. People in our generation act like it's so hard to communicate. Like, bro, or even like going to like a restaurant. Like, if you worked in customer service, you already know. Like, working in customer service, Gen Z customers, and I'm not trying to say this like as if I'm not Gen Z. I'm 22. Act like they have half a brain. Or maybe even a quarter of the brain. Like, the communication skills sometimes for basic interactions is not there. And it's like, don't get me wrong, you feel me? I was there during the pandemic. I was in high school. I was not in school. So I get it. It definitely harmed us socially. And I also struggle from social anxiety. So I get it. But basic interactions, you should be able to communicate like a human being. It's not normal. It's not normal at all. It's not normal how people act like they can't talk. You're not mute. It's just really weird. Like, it's getting scary at this point.
Okay.
Wow, that's from a 22-year-old.
I know. So that's the thing, is like there's like an inter-Gen Z conversation that is like also happening.
Okay.
In general, where there are some people who are like, no, we definitely do this and it is fucking weird. So yeah, what are your guys' thoughts from the initial video that popped all of this off?
I think that this is so. There have been many conversations and many different avenues about Gen Z social interactions. I've had like a lot of people have had this like post-pandemic with like concerts and nightlife, like something that I noticed like right when the pandemic, I hate to say when it's over because there's no like clear delineation, but when bars were starting to open again, I started noticing a bunch of younger kids, like, you know, 21, 22-year-olds, and they were like mad rude. Like, my friend was bartending and they're like, Tecate. And it's like, whoa, like usually in this situation you say, hello, hey, can I get this please?
Hell
Great.
yeah.
How much? They didn't do that. So I was like, So these are conversations that are always happening. And I feel like, so that is something maybe noticeable or whatever, but I feel like this probably popped off because there was so much shit about the millennial pause, like Gen Z.
Yeah.
Oh, I got cooked for my millennial pause by a friend of mine.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's like,
it hurts. I don't know what something about that one hurt me.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like, what is the pause, right? They're like, when you pause, like the way the millennials pause before they say anything. And it's like, is it a millennial pause or is it someone processing in real time what's happening? I don't know. So that, and of course, all these millennials and all these people were defensive.
Yeah.
So,
well, the millennial pause is specifically that at the start of a video, you don't speak immediately because we as millennials we remember a time where like the camera wasn't automatically on like that. And Gen Z is like, it's that style of like, you're kind of already talking as the video is beginning. And I will say, I cut the millennial pause out of any of my videos if I'm posting to TikTok. They got me. They got me with that one.
So, but I'm saying now we have all these people defensive post-millennial pause critique that this thing, even if it is true or not, which I think we kind of all think it is kind of true, people were going to jump on this anyway because they were looking for blood.
Yeah.
I mean, who's raising the Gen Z people? It's millennials, right? Or
no,
like
elder
or Gen X?
It's
okay, Gen X or like...
no, Gen X, you're wrong. Don't
I'm wrong? Okay, please. Okay, I'm wrong.
Gen X voted for Trump. Raised Gen Z.
It's not us. We're raising Gen A,
Alpha.
and they're fucked up in their own new special way.
Yeah.
It was a 5-month stint at this really cool high school where they didn't have classes. All the kids who didn't do well in public school came to this specific school. And they had classes, they didn't have grades. So it was just like a freewheeling school of all sorts of different, kids with needs, but they were all so fucking wonderful. But they did not know how to talk to me, look me in the eye. They didn't know how to talk to, like when they had presentations, they couldn't speak, or it was always looking at the feet. We had to teach people how to like kind of present themselves in a way that it made me a little worried. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Because these are the kids that I was also a guidance counselor too. So I was writing letters of recommendation for these kids. And I was like, dang,
you can't recommend them for shit.
Well, I no, they were really brilliant kids, but I was like, I wonder how these kids are gonna do in a college environment where it's all about making friends off the bat. And like connecting with people off the bat in person, because you can't escape your college roommates or anyone down the hall or even in classes. Like, it made me wonder how these kids are gonna do. But it's a significant difference, I think, from what I noticed when I was teaching.
Yeah, I always go back and forth between not wanting to be like, the like old man yells at cloud, like kids these days are rude. They don't do what I want them to do.
Yeah, of course.
Like I try to check that impulse in myself. And at the same time, I do think it would be insane for us not to account for the fact that like there was a massive socialization loss that took place with people who had to do very important school years in COVID and had to do it online and like missed out on just some really important life lessons. Honestly, like opportunities to get called on being a fucking weirdo. So like sometimes that's how you learn, and it sucks. Like sometimes the way that you learn to be more pleasant is that someone goes like, why aren't you looking me in the eye? Or like, you need to speak. What are you doing? Like, and because so much happened online where you could just be camera off, whatever, I think some of those important moments of getting checked for your bullshit did not happen. And now there is like this level of insulation and defensiveness around it that is maybe unique to Gen Z.
And just to like piggyback off what you're saying, as you were speaking, it reminded me of like, this was something that people were warning and discussing during the pandemic about like how online school is obviously, it wasn't good for anybody, but it was also like the way that preschoolers learn is through play. Like the way that young, 15, 17-year-olds is like their developmental things happen those times. And like by missing out on social interactions, like it's exactly what you were saying, which was something that was published on NPR of like when being the lead of a school play or having somebody reject you to prom, or those are the interactions that really mold us to adults in society. And like they missed out on that for a year or 2 years and like the most crucial point. And now they're 21, 22, because it's been 5 years and they're ordering on restaurants, they're doing and it's a little off.
Yeah, it honestly reminds me of, okay, so there's like this thing called single kitten syndrome
Oh, Lord,
that
okay, let's go.
my beautiful Biz does suffer from single kitten syndrome. It's fine. But it's basically this idea that like if you take a kitten away from its mother at too young of an age. So Biz, my cat, was found like alone when she was like a very little kitten. Those kittens oftentimes will like bite harder or whap at you harder because they didn't learn by playing with other kittens like what's too hard. And so you're supposed to teach them by like if they bite you too hard, you're supposed to like do a big loud like yelp so that they
know.
Yeah, they learn. But it does remind me like sometimes I'm like, these kids have single kitten syndrome. Like they don't know what is the level of interaction, like what's play, what's too hard, what's too this, like they don't know how to be. So okay,
can I add real quick? It's tough because, you know, even younger, like my seniors, they were missing elementary school recesses.
Yeah.
You know, they were missing the after school sports, the things I remember being really social around, like, you know, at recess telling girls you have crushes on them, even like even exploring those feelings. They're all sequestered to Instagram. Like that's not the way to explore those human feelings, you know, and progress is through your phone, and it fucks them up, man.
Yeah.
So it's really like I have a lot of sympathy and not as much angst or counterpoints because I was just there. Like, I hope my kids that I taught are okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They will be, but
it's just,
they're getting clowned for it a
little bit. They're getting clowned a little bit.
And it's because they clowned us first.
Word.
Well, yes. So that's basically, so this video gets posted, right? The conversation starts happening. And there is a subsect of Gen Z that just like is not taking the conversation well. I did see one video that I didn't even include because it's like, whatever, but it's like, it's actually ableist. And I'm like, you're doing the thing. You're doing the thing. But it sparked this greater conversation that's like, okay, you guys have been clowning millennials for years now, everything about us, how we part our hair, our socks, etc. And for us to come up with like one mild thing that we observe that you do, now that it's like this big freak out.
Like, get ready, babe. Get ready.
Because Alpha's coming for you.
And Alpha's coming for you, and we're coming for you because we were called entitled early.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. So, okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to use comments from the original video to talk about like these different responses. So this is our first Gen Z argument number one, which goes a little bit to what we were saying. Which is basically, it's just us reacting to the fact that everyone else is stupid. So one comment, as a member of Gen Z, I usually do it when I'm shocked. Like, this can't be real. This meme is a reference, and then it's something in like Chinese or Japanese. I don't know. Chinese. Okay. Anyway, people complain about the Gen Z stare, but I was taught if you don't have anything nice to say, don't speak at all, and I'm tired. LOL. Bro, the Gen Z stare is us trying to process stupidity. That's all it is. We don't like small talk, long talk, or any type of talk. We like to keep to ourselves and do what we got to do.
Jesus Christ.
I know. So that's number one. And this kind of speaks to the like definition issue that we're seeing. Because a bunch of people will basically say this thing that's like, no, it's just that like customers will say stupid shit to us. So I'm staring at you because you're stupid. And then a bunch more people came in to make videos, and that's like millennial counterpoint number one. No, we're not talking about a customer service stare that is like universal to working in customer facing jobs where someone asks you something stupid. We're talking about actually a flipped relationship. Like I've seen a bunch of people talk about like them as a server trying to be like Gen Z's servers or a host, where you're asked normal basic questions and they don't answer. Like it'll be like, so still water or sparkling? And it's just stare back, you know? So it's like, actually, we're talking about interactions where you are the customer and you are impossible to deal with. And also just basic normal things of like someone saying hello to you. Someone, like this woman's video, she's like trying to, you know, usually you're like, oh, this one's going up. in the elevator, like these basic other things that aren't someone else's stupid.
Yeah.
Also, like sometimes someone else is being stupid and you can still just be like nice.
Hey,
or you can, yeah, or they're having a bad day. You can at least talk to them like a person. To say nothing is like, it's like inhumane. That's the part. The Gen Z's forgetting the humanity of this whole conversation.
Well, I feel like, again, you're saying people got their socialization from Instagram, from social media that's highly curated, algorithmic things that are serving them exactly what they want to see at all times. And that is taking the human part of like, to be human. I mean, it's the same thing we were talking about AI, where people want to fuck AI and sext AI because AI knows exactly what you're going to like. And it's like, really, that's not human. Like sometimes to be a human and to be in a community, just like if you're in a group of kittens or if you're raised by wolves, like you got to do things that aren't always serving just you at all times. Like, well, what's the point of saying hi to your neighbor? You don't, it's just to say hi because that's what it means to be human, that you're around someone else. And then maybe somebody picks up your package or something like that. Like, then you have said hi to your neighbor. Like,
I have a theory. I agree with everything you just said, but you know, when you say hi to someone you see, or you're just even like menial interactions, I get a little like reward burst, like a little dopamine rush from saying hi. What if Gen Z folks just don't have that reward system? Like they just don't have that brain pleasure of interacting with people.
I mean, there might be something to that, which would kind of ties into like the second argument. The one thing I wanted to say on this point before we go there is there was this one comment that I kept seeing on like a bunch of different videos. So I think like it's like a aphorism or something. It doesn't belong to any one person, but it was basically like, everyone wants a village, but they don't want to be the villagers. Yeah. And I was like, I really like that. It's like, you can't be like, I'm lonely, I have social anxiety. Yeah. Why is dating so hard? Where's the community? We need to lift each other up. And then also be like, if you say something that I think is stupid, I'm going to stare at you.
If I'm tired and I'm having a long day and whatever, I don't want to talk to you. And like, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I'm so lonely. Where can I find it's just like, yo.
Also, sometimes you can even like a stupid customer interaction can turn into something nice. Like the other day, I went to go see Superman, which was really good.
Yeah, everyone's saying it's really good.
I fucking loved Superman. Highly recommend Superman. And I don't give two shits about Superman, but I loved it. Yeah. But I went to the theater and my friend had like screenshotted me the ticket, and it was like a theater that I haven't gone to before. And I thought what they had screenshotted me was the thing that I needed to scan to receive my ticket. So I'm like in front of the thing trying to scan the QR code. It's not working. First of all, I can never get the movie thing to scan the QR code.
I think it's difficult on purpose. I swear.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a whole other thing. I always have to use my credit card.
We can't sound like boomers, guys.
We can. I'm just trying to be honest.
I'm just
trying to be honest out here. I can never get the QR code to scan when I'm at the movie theater.
I'm sorry. I'm triggered because I got a really mean casting notice for grandma.
Yeah,
so
that is true. That happened to Millie recently.
That happened to me recently. Someone's like heavy set woman in their 40s to 70s. So I'm like, yeah, we're young and cool. And Alise's like, I had a problem with the QR code.
Listen.
It's my birthday in a week, guys. I'm feeling a lot of things right now.
Happy early birthday.
I have no shame over the fact that I cannot figure out how to get the ticket scanner thing at the movie theater, any movie theater, to scan the QR code that's on my phone. And I do always have to use my credit card. Either way, that's what I think is happening.
Okay.
But I don't have the credit card that's associated with this because my friend bought the ticket, etc. So I go up to the front and I'm talking to, the ticket taker, and I'm like, I can't get my ticket. And he looks at me, pauses, and is basically like, so that is your ticket. What you are showing me is your ticket. And I was like the stupid person who can't work the fucking thing, doesn't even know that I'm holding my ticket, etc. And this guy was really nice, and we laughed about it. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, what? Like, we just, it turned into a nice interaction. And I was like,
fucked him in the bathroom.
Yeah. And then now, and he's here watching us record.
That's why you like the movie so much.
Yeah. I love Superman.
Yep, exactly. I had a great time at Superman.
And it turned into a nice interaction where, we fell in love.
And I fell in love with the ticket guy at Regal Essex. But at the end of the day, it's like, sometimes even just being nice to someone who's being dumb or doesn't get what's happening. Like, have you never asked a stupid question? Like, I don't know. Again, it goes back to the humanity thing where I'm like, also, someone being dumb and asking you a dumb question isn't like a crime that you need to like.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, but in Trump's America,
it might be.
And in Trump's America, it's all stupid questions.
I have a congenial like interaction that I think saved my life for real. Yeah. That happened when I was at that ticket ripping job. I was having a rough go, and like I think it was like a couple months to a year of me being sober, and it was a long day. All sorts of angry white Western masters. They're tough.
Yeah. Massholes.
Yeah, I grew amongst them. I know them very well. Anyway, the last guy in line, we were just talking, and like I don't know, something about him. I just want to talk to him for a little bit, and all of a sudden it blurted out that I was trying to get my sobriety under check. And he was like, "Do you go to meetings?" And I was like, "Nah, I don't think I need to." And he was like, "Give me your number." And he just texted me the link to AA. He's like, "Takes a lot to go in there, but once you do, like, you'll be proud of yourself." I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "Just think about it." And like a couple weeks passed, and I was having a tough one. And I pulled up his text, found a meeting, and that was my first meeting, and I've been going ever since.
Oh,
see, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
But you had to talk to him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And then you had sex with him.
Yeah, in the bathroom.
And then you had sex with him,
and then you fucked.
And then we saw Superman
rocks.
together, actually.
And then you saw Superman. Yeah. Okay.
But it's like that is what. So this comment that's like, we don't like small talk, long talk, or any type of talk, which is crazy.
No, babe, go get depression pills. Like,
it's like that's how you meet people.
I don't like long talk.
Like, so you don't want to interact with anybody. Like, that's the juice of life.
Yeah.
That's the joy of living, is to like meet a random person and be like, wait, I just had a really interesting conversation with that stranger or whatever. So, okay. Okay. So this is Gen Z argument number 2, which is basically like that the Gen Z scare, as we talked about, is because of social anxiety and that COVID messed us up and we have not been socialized and everyone should basically just like deal with it. Which the millennial counterpoint to is, that sucks. We feel bad for you. You got to learn how to do it. Like, you have to learn to do it. And then, we can go to this next slide. So this is, they cry anxiety, but their anxiety is always high because they refuse to interact in real life and attempt to build social skills. Like, girl, I'd be anxious too if I never spoke to another human off the internet before.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this idea of, it's basically like both sides are saying the same thing on this one, but the Gen Z point is like, we have social anxiety and we're not going to do anything about it. And the millennial one is like, we get that you have social anxiety. You really should do something about it.
The way I look at it is like, I don't know, we survived that really terrible time together.
Yeah.
And like, I'm trying to live life a little fuller because I don't know when that shit will happen again.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to like, I feel like that's a perspective that maybe Gen Z could pick up a little bit. Like, that was tough, but you're here. Like, so enjoy the here.
And not everyone is here.
Yeah,
and not everyone is here.
Exactly.
And
I
it's
lost some people,
Yeah, and it's also just like, no one's saying that you can't get off the internet, but it's like, we're saying go touch grass.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole conceit, actually.
That's just us.
That's us. But in general with Gen Z is like, even Caleb said this. It's like, again, you're looking for community. Maybe you can be online in a coffee shop around other people. Somebody brought up, and I mean, I don't want to go down my walkable city urban transit rabbit holes that I'm always.
I like
that's
that
Millie's one of Millie's biggest soapboxes.
My biggest soapboxes, but it's also just like, the same thing that people say about chickens, where it's like you kind of a cage-free chicken that was able to roam and have space and all that stuff, like, is more valuable because they lived a fuller life before we slaughtered them and ate them. Humans are supposed to kind of see other humans.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be able to like wake up And that's how like we kind of reorient. It's like, even if I don't want to see anyone, I have to wake up and walk my dog and see 10, 12, 15 people on my walk, and just remember that I'm like, my life is bigger than me. And also there are people around me who don't even know what I'm talking about, who are nice, who are this. Like, that visual cue reminder, I think, is important too. I mean, you know, that's a walkable city thing, but it's also just like, if you're not even leaving your house or this and that, which, you know, is kind of a thing. It's like, well, now they're getting everything by AI. You know, this, what they're predicting with AI in the next year is that, like, you know, people are going to use AI as an assistant. So it's like, book me this, book me that. But it's also like, yeah, people are not going to get recommendations on restaurants or anything from their friends. It's going to be from AI. You don't have to go to the store. You can order everything in. But then what does that do to your like sense of self? And when you have a problem or an obstacle, it's going to feel so insurmountable because you're in a little moat. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I try to do a good job of like saying hello to my neighbors. I've also been in my place for a really long time. So, you know, I know them. And there are times where I'm walking home and I can see my neighbors out in front of his place. And I just am like, I really don't fucking feel like saying hi today. But I do it. And a lot of times we have a nice conversation or just a neutral conversation. And it took 1 minute out of my day. And I'm more involved in the community that's around me. And
I got all the goss.
Yeah, I got all the goss.
You got some tea?
And sometimes, I mean, usually the tea is like, that building's on fire.
Oh, shit. You're like, ah!
And I'm like, oh. you need to know that. You need to know that. That's what I'm saying.
like literally, yes. So it's that, and it is this thing of like, I do feel like one of the generational differences maybe between millennials and Gen Z, and it's not like either side is 100% wrong or right, but I do think that Gen Z is very like, my comfort oriented. Like, you don't have a right to like intrude on my comfort or make me feel any type of way that I don't want to feel. And you don't have a right to like make demands of me. And I think there have been good things in terms of the workplace. Where it's like, no, you actually don't get to demand that I come in early, stay late, do this, do that. Like, I think there have been good changes to that. And also, there is a value to being fucking polite and exchanging niceties with people, which brings us to the final Gen Z argument.
You're a segue queen, by the way.
Thank you. Millie's the pun segue queen. Segue queen, I would say. Word. But
I'm seeing. I'm
I've got
game.
flowy. I got the flow.
Okay. We've been doing it for a while.
I know. Yeah. We've been figuring this out. This is like kind of the classic Gen Z argument where a lot of things get, which is, I don't owe you politeness. So here are a bunch of comments. I do this on purpose. Just don't talk to me. As a Gen Z, it's mainly because I don't want to talk. I mean, at least in the elevator situation, he's not obligated to speak to you. You clearly found out on your own. Lack of social skills, and the whole time, I just don't want to talk to anyone, and I'm not obligated to. Sometimes people don't like small talk. So it's this idea of like, I don't owe politeness to you.
Damn.
Yeah.
Shit, we're fucked, yo.
Yeah. We're not fucked because they're getting clowned. Listen, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, you're right. We're here clowning them.
Yeah, we're clowning them. This is weird behavior.
Yeah,
like, man. It's okay. You're right. You're not obligated. You're not whatever. This, that, and the third. This is what I feel like too. I feel this way, and just I'm gonna apply this to comedy. Right? So there's a lot of people. I've been in this community for I've been doing this since 2012, basically, in classes, and I've been networking or whatever since 2011.
Sure.
So I have a lot of friends who are like, I'm just in it to do business. I don't want to gossip. I don't want to chat. Like, don't involve me, because I'm like, did you hear about this? Or did you hear about this venue? Or did you hear about this person? Or this guy, like, you know, touch somebody in an inappropriate way. And there are just so many people are like, I don't care about the gossip. I don't want this. I don't want that. I just do my thing, go home. These aren't my real friends. Like, I have my own friends in my own life. Then when a show is casting, when everybody knows, don't work with this person because they don't pay people on time, when then this and that is like, yeah, that's kind of why you want to. And also, like, when you have a show, you know, and you're excited, you have a whole community of your peers that are also excited and also rooting for you and also support you in a way that you could only get support from other people. So it's just like, yeah, like, okay, no, it's like, I want the good things, but not the bad things, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it's not like you have to gossip or you have to whatever to get stuff, but I'm also just like, it's what we were saying earlier of like, well, I don't want to talk to you. I'm not obligated. And it's like, you can do whatever you want. You're going to get clowned. And also you're going to miss out on a lot.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to have like the in-group information that you exchange via small talk and long talk, which is having a conversation with someone else.
Which is purely speaking to someone for a few minutes.
Yeah, like, long talk is crazy.
I know. Kids. That is like, so I don't want to talk to anyone like wild. Like, you're not going to get that important information. And also, like, to what you were saying, yeah, if your thing is that you clock in and clock out, when people are like, who do I want to book on my show? Who do I want to work with on a project? You know, when Christian is making the decalogue, if you know, maybe ran into someone at a show and they didn't speak to you, didn't make eye contact with you, didn't say shit to you and left, that's not someone you're going to reach out to put in your next project, because why the fuck would you?
Yes.
Like, why? Yeah, why?
Also, sorry, like the small talk thing, I think it's kind of outdated. This is another analogy.
Let's go.
Like, okay, two things really quickly. People used to say there's no good Mexican food in New York City. That's not true anymore. That hasn't been true for the past 10, 15 years. I feel like the same thing is for small talk. Actually, you do need to talk about the weather because it's changing and it's fucking dramatic so much. And people are like, it's small talk to talk about the weather. I like to talk to people about the weather because that's how people know. I'm like, do you know today is 62? Tomorrow's going to be 98. So then people are like, oh shit, I didn't know. We're like, oh my God. We're like, it's going to rain
survivalist.
Later. It's crazy. You have to check in with people. Or people are like, oh yeah, the air quality. Or like, actually, it doesn't look that high, but the humidity index, like people are looking into shit that I didn't even fucking know.
I'm a big small talk defender. One of my like big red flags is someone who's like, I don't like small talk. I want to talk about the fabric of the universe. And I'm like, cool. I actually, like, we're just interacting for like a couple seconds because we're in line together. Yeah.
This is a Wendy's.
Yeah, it is very, sir, this is a Wendy's. It's like, yeah, I'll talk about the fabric of the universe with you sometimes, but sometimes it's like, we are exchanging pleasantries. Yeah. It's not that serious. It doesn't mean, like, engaging in small talk doesn't mean someone's dumb or can't talk about other things. It just means that they're like, we're all standing in this room. What if instead of sitting in silence, we discussed some commonalities, one of which being that it's hot or it's raining or whatever the fuck. Like,
you should have came into my class at the high school to speak to these kids.
Truly. So, okay, this attitude leads to a sub conversation that actually took me the fuck out. Did you guys know that some people on Gen Z don't think that you should say hello first when someone calls you?
Yeah.
So,
and it caused a whole argument all weekend over Twitter.
Yes.
I had to look at my camera for the first time and go, what?
Yeah. Okay, so it started with this tweet from Joralextera that said, I'm a recruiter, so I do a ton of phone interviews. And something I've noticed about Gen Z specifically is that a lot of them answer the phone and don't say anything. Like, I can hear their breathing and the background noise, but they want you to say hello first.
On some Michael Myers? On some horror movie
And then
shit?
here are some people writing back being like, if you call someone, you should talk first. Isn't it universal law that the person who's doing the calling should be the one to say hello? Like, people are actually... And this took me out because I was like, that is actually... taking this weird like obligation thing to such a strange level, because the point of you saying hello first is so that I know that you've picked up. I can't know that you picked up the phone if you don't say hello, because sometimes calls drop or you can't hear. This really shook me.
No, that's the level that people are at. So this is what I'm saying. Like, this is why it's good to have these conversations of like, hey, this is the societal norm. And you do whatever you want in that, but just know that this is not what people are used to.
So not only is it a societal norm, the word hello was invented as a way for people to announce that they had answered the telephone.
I think I knew this.
Hello gained widespread popularity as a common English greeting, particularly with the advent of the telephone. While the word itself existed earlier, Thomas Edison is credited with popularizing it at its use as a standard telephone greeting. Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of the telephone, initially preferred ahoy, that rocks, but hello ultimately became the dominant choice. So the popularity of hello as a greeting is literally because when the phone was invented, they were like, well, we need something for someone to say when they've picked up the phone.
Dog.
And I am a little sad we didn't go with ahoy. Ahoy!
That's probably going to come back. Speaking of indie sleaze, remember when you can get your Facebook in pirate language?
Yes.
Oh my!
Yeah,
that was a millennial wrong.
That was a millennial wrong. But I'm like, ahoy is very much giving pirate language Facebook.
Yes.
You know what? This is troubling because, you know, incels are being made this way by like not reaching out,
knowing the norms.
Yeah, not knowing the norms, having the way their philosophy about life affirmed by these strangers online.
Yeah,
like,
imagine a girl calls you and you're just
like, and then they're like, women are gold diggers. That's exactly what's happening. And it's so crazy because one of these, I shared this quote a long time ago, but this incel in a forum was like, hey guys, I went to community college and no one was talking about beta, alpha, whatever. There was a girl who was a really pretty girl who was dating a guy who's balding. Like people weren't mean to me, blah, blah, blah. Like, whoa, like I got off the internet and realized it's not that serious.
Yeah,
but it's like, but the thing is that there are people profiting from giving these people this misinformation and all that stuff. Yeah. So it's like,
yes,
but that's why they need to hear from a lot of people say, hey,
no,
that the actual word hello means answer the phone.
Yeah, like that is what hello is for. I will say that the only argument that I heard for this that had any water to me is basically that it was like Gen Z was like, well, for my entire life, 99.9% of phone calls I receive are spam calls.
Ooh, you right.
And
it doesn't activate until you say hello.
Yeah, and I have been like kind of taught that you shouldn't say hello because then it starts recording or it can spoof your voice, whatever. I'm like, maybe that's the millennial in me that I never like think about that.
No, I think it's true because sometimes you answer the phone with the spam calls and they don't start their recording until you say hello, or like they don't start that response shit until you say hello. So
yeah, so I
could give credence to that.
I have a little bit of something for that if there is a thought process of like they pick up the phone and they want you to say hello first because that's like proof of life that you're a real person on the other side.
But we're going to say don't do that.
But I'm going to say you do have to say hello when you pick up the phone because otherwise no one knows that you've picked up the phone. Yeah. The spam thing, I get it. Yeah. I get hundreds of spam calls, texts. It's actually an enormous problem and I wish that there wasn't so much going on existentially in the world that there was actually like political will to be like we should do something about spam calls, but it's like that's so on the low on the to-do list.
That's subterranean.
Exactly, but I'm like,
we gotta deal with. But it hurts. It
is
sucks.
Annoying.
Yes,
it is fucking
Check
annoying.
your settings though. Not to sound like that guy, but there's really good spam block settings.
You know who has good spam block? Android.
There we go.
Android.
Go off.
All right. So let me get to the final millennial counterpoint, which is basically Gen Z says, we don't owe you politeness. Millennials say, yes, you fucking do. So I actually feel like this one creator that we're about to watch spoke about this in a really good way. She's Perez Brenna is her handle. She had made a previous video about the Gen Z stare and then also another video that was just about Gen Z humor. Both of them are literally just observational. She was like, Gen Z humor is more like this. Millennial humor is more like this. And both videos have gotten her like massive hate from people. So the video we're about to watch is her replying to a comment of someone saying, you're not owed anything on her video about the Gen Z stare. So that's like what we're seeing right now.
Okay. Lord, this is
I know.
Lord, the studies, wow. I love it.
Fun fact, you are owed nothing. Hope this helps. Bold words coming from a group of people who literally cannot handle when someone does or says anything they even just mildly disagree with. You don't get to have this attitude and be as sensitive as you are. And before I go on, let me just make it clear. I'm only referring to the Gen Z who are responding like this. The rest of you guys are cool. I bet you expect other people to respect the fact that you don't owe them anything. Well, they don't owe you the respect of them not owing you anything, because they don't owe you anything either. Yes, it is true that you are owed nothing, but it also means that you are owed nothing. So you don't get to be mad or annoyed by anything anyone ever does, ever, including talking about the Gen Z stare, because you don't get to have an expectation that people will not talk about the Gen Z stare. And this also means you are not owed being welcome in society. So if you're not willing to do what society has deemed is the bare minimum to be a society, which in general is just like acknowledging and treating other human beings as human beings, then you are not welcome in society, because society is not owed to you either. And by the way, you're also not allowed to complain about not having community if you're unwilling to be community. This is all well and good as like a general idea, because sure, you should not feel entitled to a lot of things. However, it also falls apart quite quickly if you also expect that society will continue to exist. And it's fine if you don't want to acknowledge someone's existence when they're just doing their job and greeting you or asking you a question, or if you don't want to acknowledge someone's existence, ask them a question or answer it while you're doing your job, very poorly, I might add, that's fine. But no one has to like you. No one has to be nice to you. No one has to employ you. And the rest of us can move on to not just talking about it, but making fun of you for it. And you don't get to be mad because you're not owed anything. But who am I kidding? I'm sure you've never been upset by anything anyone else has ever done, right? Hope that helps.
Okay, real quick.
Yes.
Something about this white woman telling me what society is and it should be rubbing me the wrong way.
You can speak to that.
Harkens back to older times that our people shouldn't, revisit. But also, like, I felt okay boomer watching that a little bit. I felt like she was yelling at strangers. I guess it was a response to all the hate.
It was a response to something.
Yeah, she's like responding to a comment of someone saying that. You can like see it up in the top. I mean, I agree with the video, so I'll like say that I don't know. I feel like I agree with her.
I think her overall point is, if she was someone whose entire TikTok presence was be like, this is how you have to be in society. This is how you have to be in society. I would have more of that like feeling resonating of like, who the fuck is this bitch? Whatever. But like, it's because she's coming at people who are critiquing a thing that, having a conversation about a thing that a generation of people do. I would leave it credence because it's just saying like, listen, it doesn't mean that you have to do anything, but like you will get made fun of it and you can't say anything because you want to live in this world where what you do shouldn't affect anyone. And then it's like, so then what other people do shouldn't affect you.
Yeah, I guess it is. The idea that I liked behind it is it's like, okay, if you want to take this to its logical conclusion, it goes both ways. Like you don't get to say no one owes you politeness, but then you want people to cater to your feelings and your emotions and which is a form of politeness to you.
Yeah.
So that's what I liked about it.
Okay.
But I feel but you can have whatever feelings.
I mean, within the context, like obviously she's responding to hate. Like she has to defend herself.
Yeah,
and you guys bringing that back up, especially as a woman online, you gotta defend yourself.
Yeah.
I understand that. I just was that helpful? Like, was Gen Z gonna want to say hi to people after that? I guess that's like kind of what my thing is.
But it's like, I guess it's like, well, it's the conversation. Like if people are going to be like, I don't owe you anything, then she's going to be like, well, sure. But that's what this means. When you say I don't owe you anything, that's what it means to me, is that it's like, okay.
And I think with online conversation, the reality is like some people are never, ever going to change. But with conversation, the way that it pops up in discourse, it's like allowing people who maybe weren't aware of it before or can understand like, what is the thought process behind someone just staring at you? Is it rudeness? Is it this? Is it the COVID thing? Which again, maybe people, it's easy to be like, oh, Gen Z is just rude. And it's harder to be like, they missed out on 3 or 4 years of their development and they're a little delayed, but also like, let's talk about it, Yeah. So again, it's never about like, someone's going to watch a video and completely change your point of view. If that would happen, we'd be rich.
Peace.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
We'd be rich.
I know.
But no, it's just, again, are Gen Z. The people who are pissed, they're not gonna whatever, but it's a good way to view of like, this is where this rabbit hole goes of you saying that you're not owed any, or you don't owe anybody anything.
Also, one thing I did want to note is like, she's kind of making reference in that video to a discourse from the past that came up maybe like a year or so ago.
Damn, she's been in on this. Okay.
It's been a whole thing.
I
had no idea.
It's been this entire thing, like, this is a flare up of a conversation that like keeps coming up.
Understood.
And so there was one that was about like Gen Z when they're working customer service jobs, not like saying hello or doing any of the small talk stuff that usually like you kind of expect. And there was this back and forth conversation about them being like, I don't need to do the emotional labor of like greeting you when you come into the store. And then people being like, okay, well, that is kind of like what the job is. And then being like, no, it's not. My job is to fold the shirts. And then I don't know. It's like, so it's like she was kind of making reference to that past conversation too, where she was saying the stuff about being employable. It was, I think she's talking about like, okay, yeah, like you don't have to say hello to customers or whatever, but you might not be perceived as like the person who's going to get a raise or the person who's going to get the next thing or like keeping that
and,
position.
Like, people want to come in a store and they're greeted. That's also a thing that people were talking about. That was a flare up from a past conversation, but that was something that it comes up like now where it's like, if you walk into a store and no one greets you, like, it's like they're not excited for your business. They're not this, they're not that. Like, that doesn't feel good, you know?
Especially if let's go back to the race thing. If it's a white Gen Zer and they don't say hi to my ass when I go in,
feel like
a whole history of things floods
is like, why aren't they saying hi?
Yeah.
What's going on? And this, that, whatever, which is like, and in their head, they're like, I don't owe anybody this. I'm not paid to say hi. But you see where that comes in. So it's like, that's why we live in a society.
Yeah. And it is one of those things where it's like, again, I don't think that they're 100% wrong in the sense of like, I do feel like with the millennial generation and before that, the like customers always right thing got way out of fucking hand. And people felt incredibly entitled to just be monstrous to someone who's working in a store or behind a counter. And I do think it's good for us to push back on that and be like, but I don't think it's, I guess for me, it's not that it's like, you don't have to say hello, but it's like, no, you don't get to be fucking rude to me just because you're the customer. Like, I won't be doing that. And I do feel like that is like a good thing that Gen Z has brought where it's like, no, I'm not like your servant just because I'm the cashier here. Yeah. But you could also say hi. So it's like kind of in the middle, I guess.
There's a difference between boundary setting and then not even laying the floor plan for boundaries. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And it feels like Gen Z is just not even allowing for there to be a boundary and a space to even like cross that boundary. So I don't know how we build this. I keep saying I feel bad for them, but like, dang, we far gone.
I know.
Yeah.
We're
gone. Not saying hello when you pick up the phone. That's scaring me.
Yeah.
Very.
But I feel like, again, us talking about it and creating discourse, like, that is how people know. And that's what we were talking about, gossip. It's like, that's how people are informed about like the rules and norms in society and stuff. And this goes perfectly into our final segment of the show, Grasshole of the Week.
Wow.
Where we pick one person or group of people or family that needs to log off more than anyone else. And this is a conversation that is all about etiquette. Guys, have you heard of Antipasto Gate?
I've been following Antipasto Gate.
Have you heard of Antipasto Gate?
Go on. What is
I've been following it.
Well, it all started on the 4th of July. Nicole at Folk Medicine Remedies on TikTok. She basically, this woman, she posted this video where she retold an experience of attending, or at least trying to attend, a 4th of July party she was invited to by the mom of her son's friend.
Okay.
So the mom of her son's best friend, Samantha, that was hosted by her extended family. So again, her son has a new, basically she's like, I'm so humiliated. I'm new to this area. I just moved 1,000 miles away to be here. And so I made an antipasto salad, this big, gorgeous salad Then she shows the salad that she made. So that's her crying on camera. And this is the salad she made, right?
Mm-hmm. And an antipasto salad, for those not in the Italian X community, is it's like this one. Yeah, it's like a cold plate. Usually there's like mozzarella, there's like a tomato component, and then this also, it seems like it has some like cured meats. Nice. It's not like a salad in the traditional way. It's more like
it's appetizer, right? Yeah. So she says, the salad she made has slices of salami, tomato, mozzarella, basil, oregano, and pepperoncini, and that were carefully arranged in a sheet pan with a drizzle of balsamic vinegar. Nicole says that she walked into the party hosted by a local couple, Stasia and Jake Hicks, who are aggressors, and was immediately greeted with hostility from Jake. Less than 5 minutes later, she says another woman walked into the house and confronted her, saying, quote, "It's really rude to walk into somebody's house and not introduce yourself." He's absolutely flipping out outside about some stranger. And so then this is what this woman said. She said she was so confused. She was caught in a deer in headlights because she thought she was invited. And she goes like, I was like, "I'm really sorry. I don't even know whose house this is." And the girl goes, "Exactly. You shouldn't be here." And Damn. Nicole was like, "Okay." So I walk outside. Then Nicole said that some of the people at the party wouldn't even look at her, and others were angrily looking at her like she did something completely wrong. So then Nicole says, "I was totally distraught. I've never been treated that way. It was like probably a $40 salad. I used all the really nice salami and cut meats, and all the vegetables that were included in the antipasto salad were picked from her yard." She said, "I just wanted to make a good impression." Damn. And she ends the video saying, "This is why you don't make friends in your 30s.
Oh.
So the video,
dang, where is this happening?
This is in Virginia.
Okay, that's
so this video goes super viral, gets 35 million views, currently has 3.5 million likes, and about 115,000 comments that are honestly mostly supportive. Everyone's like, "That salad was gorgeous. Mm-hmm. How are they gonna ignore you and be like, you're gonna introduce yourself?" And then some other people were saying, "A good party is prepared for extras. These people don't know how to host." And then other people were, being like, "They don't deserve your antipasto. What the fuck is wrong with them?" So this got so viral that the whole internet was posting recaps and all this stuff. So what do you guys think so far about Miss Antipasto?
Dang.
I mean, yeah, I feel like a 4th of July party is typically something where there might be one or two like plus ones that are usually there. Even if it wasn't that type of party and this was like a misunderstanding from the person, Samantha, that brought Miss Antipasto.
Yeah.
Even still, you can like rock with it. Yeah. I guess it's actually reminding me of like Cher's speech in Clueless, where it's like, you get in the kitchen, you move some things around, and we can totally party with the Haitians. like because that's our whole thing, is like sometimes people RSVP who didn't RSVP, you got to make room for extras. Sometimes there's an extra person, whatever. It could be a little awkward if technically this was more of like a smaller gathering, but at the same time, like, this woman's shown up with food. That's
the key.
That's the key, which a lot of people don't even show up to parties with food.
Nothing, and they keep their shoes on when you tell them to take them off.
And they keep their shoes off when you take them. But I'm saying people don't even show up for food. So for this lady to bring this
from her garden,
yeah, it goes back to kind of what we were talking about being a human. Like, can't you understand as a human that the awkwardness of her walking in and realizing, "Oh shit, this is like a more intimate gathering than I anticipated," or like, "Oh, like maybe this wasn't the right party for me," and trying to rock it out, and like you could be a human too and just be nice and welcoming to the person who showed up.
Yeah. So again, the internet went crazy. So this next video we're gonna watch is just a reaction from Pearlmania 500. And this guy has 3.4 million followers. And this was mostly like I'm just going to show you like the internet response and then the response of our grassholes.
Amazing.
Ooh, okay.
Let me explain something to you, you dumb hicks, okay? If you have people over and somebody shows up and they have an antipasto salad, that person didn't need an invite to come over. They brought an antipasto salad. The antipasto salad is the invite, especially if it's this antipasto salad. Look at that antipasto salad. I want to tell you something right now. If I went to the Cherry Hill, New Jersey Wegmans, this shit would be $120. There's $120 worth of antipasto salad. That lady made by hand this antipasto salad. She went to the grocery store. She bought $40 worth of meat and cheese in Virginia. She got a tray. She probably went to Dollar General, bought a tray. That tray cost more money because of fucking tariffs. She went and she hand-picked tomatoes. She grew those tomatoes herself. She grew those tomatoes herself. She took her life force, the one life we have to live, and she imbued it into the tomatoes into her garden. She plucked them for strangers. She lovingly cut them up. She laid them out because she wanted to be Christ-like and feed new people. And what did you do, Stasi Hicks? You said, who are you? What are you doing in my house? What did you do, Jake Hicks? You said, who's this strange lady? She's not a stranger. She brought antipasto salad. That's a good person. What are you afraid that she's going to steal? She brought an antipasto salad that's worth more than anything else in your house. It's worth everything more in your house. I've seen every single one of your response videos. I've seen y'all desperately try to do everything but fucking apologize. You got your mom involved?
Yeah,
your mom out of nowhere shows up, and your mom is 40. She's younger than me. Yo, y'all piss me the fuck off.
So now let's watch the response video of Stasia Hicks.
Oh, let's go.
I am not a mean person. My husband is not a mean person. We are not mean people. Neither is my mother-in-law. We simply did not know who this person was that come into our house unannounced to not a party. Let's clarify. This was not a party. This was a get-together of people who knew each other, okay? And just because we didn't know her doesn't mean that she couldn't have stayed and hung out. We just didn't want her in our house, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. So to you people that are getting on TikTok and all my social medias, first of all, or my husband's or my mother-in-law's, so forth, so on, and trying to bully us, I don't care. I really don't. Because you don't know the story, you weren't here, and for you to feel like you have to be behind the phone to bully somebody else that you don't even know about, that says a lot about you, not me. And one more thing. We did apologize. My husband did call her directly and apologize to her, and she didn't want to accept that answer, okay? She didn't want to accept that we were sorry, that we hurt her feelings. She wanted to get on TikTok and use it to her advantage and try to make us look like bad people and then have half the world or so forth, so on, hate us too.
Wow.
Ooh.
White people, man. White people.
The tone is,
Virginians.
it's that like, I don't care. I'm not mad. I'm not owned.
Very Gen Z of her.
Yeah, I was very like, okay, what? It's like, it's not a party. It's a gathering of people who know each other. It's like that.
That's a party.
Was it
That's
music
what,
playing?
yeah. That's what you were saying, intimate gathering. I'm like, Alise doesn't know about the mind she's stepping on. Because that's the whole internet clowner of like, it's not a party. It's just a gathering of people who know each other in outside and with music and food and like,
yeah, it's like that's what a party is.
You just have a dictionary
like,
open. You're like, yo, this is exactly what a fucking party is. What the hell are you talking about?
Like if it's less, if it's one that is smaller or whatever, like a smaller party, intimate gathering, whatever. Even if that is the case, if someone walks in with someone you invited and they're holding a plate of food, just roll with it. Just be nice to them. It's not like they're a random stranger off the street who wandered in. Like you can tell that they are here for the event that you're hosting.
Well, it's also just like their kids are friends.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. And it's sometimes I feel like I don't have kids, but I'm like, pretty common. And a lot of my sister's friends are her daughter's friends' moms. Like, that's a normal thing. You don't know these people. Your kids are in the same class. They become friends. You show up to the thing because it's easier than having your son, dropping your son off and then picking him up. Let's all hang out. No, it's like crazy. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, again, white people from Virginia. I'm not surprised about that and how that went down. And man, people from the South, they love to be dicks and then lean on Southern politeness when they want to.
Yeah.
It's a very toxic stew there. I have a question. The person that invited her, what happened? Did she step up?
Okay. Yeah. So to continue. Okay. Stasia, that woman, she clearly deleted the video, right? After the backlash. What the video we watched was captured by another TikToker. Again, this was so big. There are like thousands of videos about it. It's crazy. How about that? So again, Jake, the husband said he called Nicole directly to offer an apology. It wasn't accepted. In a follow-up video thanking people for their support, Nicole shares a text exchange with Samantha, the mom who invited her. So Samantha is Stasia's mom.
Or Stasia's friend?
No, Stasia's mom.
Samantha is Stasia's mom, and Samantha invited Nicole?
Yes, but Stasia... So it said Nicole shares a text exchange with Samantha, the mom who invited her, in which she apologized for her family's behavior. She also told Stasia and Jake she invited Nicole and texted them a photo of the antipasto salad. So they knew? Basically, yeah, that's what the whole thing was. Basically, what was happening was her son is best friends with this kid. This kid's grandma, who's fucking 40, because whatever. So she's a younger, she's like, hey, I'm inviting our, this kid's mom. She's coming and she's bringing salad. She sent it in a text, whether Stasi or Jake, whatever. But they got ahead notice.
So she had actually told them ahead of time that she was inviting Nicole.
Wow. And then these people are deeply evil. Yeah. When that gets revealed, you go,
it's like, you're mean.
You're not mean. There's something corrosive in your spirits.
Nicole also, so then Nicole, because what happens is, again, it doesn't just stop there. Again, this woman gets a bunch of followers. Everyone feels really bad for Nicole, which is really nice. But then all these people are asking for updates and it escalates and gets more and more. So Nicole posted a recording of her call with Jake, which is the husband of Stasia.
Dang, she tapped her phone?
She tapped the phone and he starts out the phone call saying he didn't know who she was or that she was coming. But eventually on the phone call, he admits he knew about her all along, but only expected the son to come. That's what he's saying. So Stasia,
you're gonna shit on the kid's mom? Is that like I was perfectly happy to no, fuck this nigga.
Stasia then reported, I guess she posted, like, I guess to prove something, she posted footage of the gathering recorded by a Ring camera, but then deleted it because people were like, this doesn't prove, like, anything that she's saying or doesn't really disprove Nicole's story. Like, it actually just makes it stronger.
Absolutely.
So then Jake's mother also posted, again, Sam, posted a defensive TikTok noting in her video that the event was, quote, not a party, but, quote, a cookout for the neighbors.
That's a party!
This is the most synonymous, like, what words can we use besides? It's like a game.
And just a really quick other layer. Well, I'll just wrap it up and then we can just think final thoughts, right? So, and then they said Nicole must have been misinformed, quote unquote. But obviously that woman has made her TikTok private because she's been getting a lot of things.
I'm sure she's getting some death threats too.
Another layer of this was a photo of the house was posted online, and it was a double wide mobile home. Again, people on TikTok aren't saying that there's nothing wrong with living in a double wide mobile home. But people are like, if you're going to be this fucking annoying about, people were expecting a mansion.
Damn, I thought it was a gated estate. I thought they had butlers.
No, it was
a fountain in the front.
It was a double wide mobile home, which this is, I'm just going to share it. I don't really believe that this is necessarily an indication, but some people are thinking that maybe it's because they're doing a lot of illegal activity in the house. So maybe they don't want people to know. Like, it's kind of like, why
Man,
are you in the house?
I'd hate to assume that. Yeah.
I think that they're just like being assholes. I just got like such a negative energy off the Stasia. I think that they just, I don't know. I think that some people like to be mean, and they could tell that someone had shown up who was like, maybe she was a little timid, maybe she gave off like a little bit of an anxious energy because again, she's new. She just
smelled blood in the water.
Yeah, exactly. Like I just got such mean girl vibes off Stasia that I think she was just like, oh, someone who seems insecure, who I can kick out of my house and push around and be mean to and like use this weird little power over. I'm just going to do that.
Yeah, she's probably popular in high school or whatever. And like, you know, or whatever.
That's the energy
in Virginia, I'm sure.
No.
Yeah. And like, definitely like, you know, was mean girl, whatever. Top dog settles down early, gets a husband, doesn't know what to do with her life. Ooh, who's the first person I can be mean to and get some of that old juju from high school?
Yeah, that's like the exact energy I got off of her. It was just that they saw someone who they perceived as weak and they thought they could like push them around and be mean to them because they derive some kind of joy out of that.
And no one's heard of her.
And didn't realize that like she would just like post on TikTok, like that it could, that like their behavior they could actually be held accountable to people outside of their little party of people who I guess are cool with being mean to someone for no reason.
Yeah, so just to wrap again, just to add 2 more details to wrap this up. It's funny that you say like maybe she was like this, Stasia was like this because she thought she could get away with it, but it completely backfired because again, now Nicole has like almost 500,000 subscribers, and she was always posting like stuff about remedies and garden and all this shit, and now like she's getting a lot more love,
getting deals, I'm sure.
So she has again continued to share updates, and she posted a highly requested tutorial for the Antipasto salad.
Let's fucking go.
And she again layered.
I need her on Rachel Ray. I need her to like, let's go.
I know.
She adds pickled garlic scapes, peppers, and onions from her garden. Sprinkles some black pepper, dribbles olive oil, and quote, a liberal amount of balsamic glaze for a sweet bite. So that's what she's posting. And then she also posted, this was another thing that came up, was the fucking sheriff came to her house. She posted the ring camera footage. The sheriff came to the house. They're like, oh, your husband threatened us, like threatened our station. So they're suspecting that the Hicks, the Stasia Hicks, because it might be somebody's cousin or something in the sheriff. So I think Stasia Hicks is the powerful family in this town.
What's the name of the town in Virginia?
I
do some Googling when I get home.
But you could look up Antipasto Gate.
Oh, absolutely.
But basically, that Stasia Hicks was, used to being the head honcho in town. She was going to be mean to this new woman because she's connected to everybody. She goes on TikTok. TikTok all decides like, hey, it's not nice to be, it's an etiquette thing that we're talking about with Gen Z. And Stasia probably can't handle that. Tried to post this whole thing of like, we're not mean people. We just kick somebody out that we don't know because they're weird.
And we kicked them out in like a really aggressive and nasty way that was just like uncalled.
Because she could have been like, it is weird to have somebody that you don't know be up in your house, like sitting in your, but be like, hey, everyone's hanging outside. Do you want me to bring you outside?
It's the 4th of July, man. That's the part I'm at where like every party I've been to has been the neighbor coming over or someone stopping by. Like, it's kind of like the beauty of that holiday is that everything's wide out and open and drinking and like you're supposed to have people come through. So now I'm thinking, was there something that truly? That's a wild response.
And the double wide, that's why it's looking
also,
like... Also,
that double wide has never seen a pasta that beautiful in its life.
Exactly.
Ain't no fucking way.
That's why people are like, this pasta is worth more than the thing.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
That's mean,
like,
but...
I don't know, whatever. But if you're going to be weird, people are going to clown you.
Yeah.
It's so interesting, I guess, like that both topics are these like etiquette topics. And on the one hand, we've got this thing of like, people don't owe you anything. But then in practicality, we do see that like people rode hard for Nicole. And they were like, no, it's fucking mean.
Yes.
If someone shows up to your house with an antipasto salad for a gathering, even if you like can't quite place them or expect them, you can be basically nice to them in a real way. It's one thing if they showed up and were like being weird and no one knew who they came with and they didn't have anything and like they were making people uncomfortable. Seems like this was just a nice woman who brought her son in a salad. Be nice.
Yeah, even if you didn't know her, you saw your son was talking to her like
the kids, man. The kids get along. Why can't you try? I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, and to the point of like that's exactly what this woman was saying in that video that was like off-putting to you, but like it's the whole point of like no, you can do whatever you want. Like obviously Stasia Hicks, she's not gonna go to jail for like not letting somebody in. It's her house. She could do whatever she wants.
You can get a job on Fox, honestly.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe. She wishes. But people are going to clown her. And you know what I mean? And that's kind of what we're talking about, like the perimeters of society.
Yeah.
So for the crime, Stasia, of not accepting a delicious antipasto salad, kicking someone out of your house for giving, like, then coming on the, like, doubling and tripling down on the internet and including ring footage.
Yep.
Stasia Hicks. Go touch grass.
And Jake Hicks too.
Yeah,
the husband too.
Yeah.
The husband can catch smoke too.
And the sheriff.
And the sheriff. What are you doing?
The whole town.
The whole town.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Speaking of towns of troubled people, Christian, where can we find you? Where can we learn about your anthology?
Yeah, you did that shit. Find me on That Boy Banda on Instagram. I'm posting all about it, sharing stuff. Really trying to get some wind under the wings of this really special thing. So
yeah, and we will have links in the show notes to the GoFundMe, or it's a
Seed and Spark.
It's a Seed and Spark.
Yes.
Sorry,
it's okay.
I feel like GoFundMe has gotten like the Band-Aid treatment, where it's like or like Kleenex, where it's like no matter what the brand is, whatever. But anyway. Seed and Spark. The link will be in the show notes. Please, please, please check it out.
I want you to see it. Like, it's gonna be dope. Like,
it's gonna be a really cool project.
Yeah.
You guys can follow me at Pandalise on Instagram, at Alise Navidad on TikTok, and this podcast at Go Touch Grass Pod on everything.
And you can follow me at Millie_Tamarez on Instagram and TikTok, and at Millie_Tamarez on Twitter. And until next time, go touch grass.